continue on the base metal track here with the Yukon Mining Alliance at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Sitting across the table now with Brandon Macdonald, who's the president and CEO of Fireweed Zinc. Fireweed Zinc trades on the TSX venture with the symbol FWZ. Brandon, we just got done talking with Paul Wessells, Western Copper and Gold, regarding the big move in investment by Rio Tinto. You've got a strategic investor that's came in for the MacMillan Pass project recently, and obviously it's nice to see more big producers kind of start putting a little footprint in the Yukon.
Yeah, and that having them put a little bit of risk, their own risk capital in to these companies is a good endorsement, right? We're not quite as far along the path as Western Copper is, but we're not greenfield exploration either, right? So certainly welcome the endorsement from Teck. And look, it helps a lot when the endorsement like that comes from a company whose office is one block from yours, right? So the ability to bounce ideas off their geologists and technical staff has been really valuable.
Let's kind of expand on that conversation a little bit more. And listen, the markets have been quite volatile. It's been tough here the last couple of weeks. But I always feel like companies that do have a big strategic investor or some sort of partnership from a big producer provides a little bit of de-risking during volatile markets. I mean, is that a safe speculation to say for investors?
Yeah, it does. I guess the question a lot of investors ask is, does the endorsement of a major producer does that inadvertently limit your strategic options? Do other zinc players look at Teck's position in Fireweed and say, well, it's Teck's to have, and I don't think so, and certainly we've seen historically lots of bidding wars. Just recently, Wyloo and BHP on Noront, right? So these things happen, right? We don't feel a 9% stake as one that by any stretch of the imagination can strangle your strategic options. Joint venture can do that, for sure. That's why you definitely got to measure twice and cut once on those.
So let's look at forward into this exploration season for MacMillan Pass. Listen, you went out and you raised a good chunk of money. You're set to go. You raised money at a time when most companies in this sector could not. Yeah. So kudos to you and the team for getting that done. So what do you do with this moving forward this summer? What does success look like for MacMillan Pass at the end of the year?
Yeah, look, we gave ourselves a good runway for success. We got almost $20 million in the bank, which is the most we've ever had, and we deliberately raised to give us a runway all the way through late next year to deliver the updated PEA. So what the drilling this summer really accomplishes is what is the most we can accomplish with our budget in terms of adding resource to improve the NPV of next year's study. And we did a lot of thinking about that, right? So 8 to 10,000 meters of drilling, updated resource Q1, Q2 next year, and then likely 4 to 5 months after that, an updated PEA. So I feel like we're in a strong position for sure.
Well, let's talk about the economics. Obviously, zinc's had one great run in the last couple of months. It's probably come down here during this little volatility. I'm not quite sure where it's trading at now. Silver's been volatile, but still hanging in there a little bit. Lead's doing just fine. The economics for MacMillan Pass I would assume look pretty dang good right now.
Yeah, the challenge that we've had is, so we used a 121 zinc price in 2018. Yeah. Just adjusting for inflation, that's like 135 or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but I think, I don't know if the investor would tolerate us using a 135 price. I think we'd take flack for that. And
too conservative.
No, too aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And the challenge is that level of inflation, that 5 years of inflation, is given the inflation rate, it's probably 20%. Let's be realistic, the last 5 years inflation maybe. So I'm going to get 20% inflation in cost in CapEx. If I don't get 20% inflation in my inputs, the study ends up looking worse, right? Which it shouldn't. So that's the challenge we have to decide. It's like, how do we unemotionally pick a price? So we have a formula we used last time that we'll use this time, which is a 5-year average, which is 3 years historical and 2 years on the forward curve. Hopefully investors are comfortable with that price. We'll see, right? I think right now that would be like a 140 or something like that.
Okay.
Using that metric, and we'll see what it is next year. If the zinc price holds in, it could be higher. But I want to, we don't want a better looking study just because we used higher commodity prices, right? That's a pretty easy improvement to make.
And the market would call you out on it.
Yeah. So we want something, we certainly would, if we end up using a significantly higher price because that's what the formula does, we certainly want to include some sensitivities right up front that say like, hey, the inflation adjusted numbers, like if we just use the past, prices adjusted for inflation is this, right? So that's your closest like-to-like comparison.
When it comes to this type of project, these big zinc deposits, listen, a lot of work needs to be done in MacMillan Pass yet, but there is like this top tier potential, obviously, with the project. How much time do you kind of need to get it to that point to like prove out to be one of the best top tier zinc projects in the entire world?
Can I say we're already there? I need an hour to.
Yeah.
No. I just said in my presentation that to me a tier 1 zinc project it's got to have at least 20 years mine life or so. Sort of 15 to 20. Like it's got to be multi-cycle. It's got to be second lower half of costs. You're not a tier 1 project if you're a swing producer. You're just not. It doesn't matter how big you are. And you got to be sort of in the top 12 to 15 to 20 mines in the world. So not everyone in that top 20 will be a tier 1 because they might be short mine life, they might be too high cost or something like that, right? But the 10 best of that I think would be tier 1, and I think we can potentially achieve that with this next study. I think we can hit those marks. They're stretch goals, though,
Sure.
right? Like we might find that we're in the 55th or 60th percentile for costs, which by my own just stated definition does not make us tier 1. That's still not bad. Right?
That's your own definition.
Yeah, right. But that's the key thing is like these are stretch goals. We're hoping we can hit them. The study emerges like it is. If something doesn't manifest, I can't through hard work and determination make it something it isn't, right? So I think we have a legitimate shot at it, and if we fall short, it won't be short by much.
Exploration season is upon us. When does the crew really get mobilized back up to MacMillan Pass to get the work going?
It's been a very heavy snowfall year, very, very heavy. So we've been warned that it's probably 2 weeks later than last year. So I'd originally thought drills turning mid-June. I don't think we'll hit that, so it could be very end of June, first week of July that drills are turning potentially. People will be on site, I would say, in 2 or 3 weeks, depending. Apparently we had snow there today, which doesn't help. So we got some people on site for avalanche control around the camp area to make sure it's safe before we go in.
Sure, very good. Well, best of luck to you and the crew this season. Please stay safe out there.
Thank you.
And look forward to getting some more updates and news out of Fireweed.
Oh, you'll get it.
Brandon Macdonald, CEO of Fireweed Zinc, again trading on the TSX Venture with the symbol FWZ.